Hi everyone, Velvet here, and I have some stories for you today. But before we get started, can you please do me a huge favor and like, comment, and subscribe? It'll help the channel out and it'll get you more videos like this. Let's get to it. Our first one comes from Gate Interesting 8910. Am I the beehole for telling my parents that they need to find an alternative solution for long-term care for my disabled siblings? Because I will not be the solution. I, a 19-year-old male, have two older siblings who are both born with severe disabilities. Their disabilities are related to an inheritable gene that both my parents were carriers of, hence the both of them having these disabilities. They had me so their disabled children would have— they made more children when the two of them came out disabled, holy crap, would have someone to take care of them when they were gone. It was a gamble. I could have been I could have been disabled like my siblings and have an even higher chance of at it being also a carrier for the gene. My parents didn't look into that. Okay, initially planned to adopt, but they were rejected because my siblings being disabled, and it was decided that they could not adequately care for another child on top of them, so they gave in and had me. Holy crap, OP. Those are some evil people. They weren't trying to adopt a poor kid and, give him a loving home. They were trying to adopt, a servant to watch over their kids. Hello, kid that we adopted. Now watch our biological children. That's your job. No childhood for you, kid we just adopted. Watch our kids. Those are some evil ghouls, man, but back to it. Once they knew I wasn't disabled at birth, they no longer cared about my future, because it was set in stone in their minds. I was raised to take over and care for both of my siblings. Holy crap, they're the parents, my siblings. I was taught what to do and how to do it, and my parents inferred my success. They'd pulled me out of school a few enough times to cause trouble, but timed it just right to throw me off and leave me behind at school. Their aim was for me to do so badly enough to either drop out or to not graduate high school. Holy crap. These people need to go to jail. So then I wouldn't leave for college, but I worked my arse off to do my best, and I did the best I could. My grades weren't great graduating, but they were the best they could have been given the circumstances. I actually only learned about the risk of me being a carrier in my final 2 months of high school. My parents didn't care because they never planned for me to marry or have kids. Oh my god. Because again, I was supposed to be the carer of the rest of my life. I moved out of my parents' house after high school, and I'm in college now. Oh, good for you, man. Whew. My parents hate it. I'm mostly estranged and have not told them yet, but I got checked for the gene because I always wanted kids, but I knew I didn't want to risk having my children with the same disabilities as my siblings. I am not a carrier. Ooh, even good, even better news. Good, good, good. Which is rare apparently, but it's such relief. But it made me more angry at my parents for not caring. They leave voicemails pretty frequently shaming me for going to college and moving away and not supporting them or my siblings. They talked about how out of practice I'll be. So I decided to call them and over the phone told them I'm not coming back and they need to find an alternative solution for long-term care for my siblings because I won't be the solution. I won't sacrifice the rest of my life to care for them. My parents told me that that was disgusting to say, and I should love my siblings, they should love their child, more than enough to care for them, especially when they're at high-risk adults. Am I the beehole? Hi, OP. No, you're not a beehole. Those things walking around in human skin, or that say they're your parents, are not even the beehole, they're bloody demons. They wanted to adopt basically a servant to watch their kids, and when they failed, they risked it again and had another child when they already had two children with disabilities. I'm sorry, for me, after one, I'd be done, alright? Because, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna bring more people into the world who have to live a hard life because of disabilities. I'm just not that evil. But again, they went and had another child, and luckily you came out fine. But it's so baffling to me because maybe because I have my parents as an example, they always want the best for us. They always want us to succeed, and I've seen them sacrifice. That's why when they want something, they get something if I can do it. Your parents sound horrible. Holy crap! I don't even think they see you as a person. They just see you as like a free babysitter for them to do whatever they want. Those are not your children, OP. You did not have them, and you weren't asked to be born. That is not your job. They are the parents, and they need to handle their kids. OP, not the beehole, and I'm glad you were able to get away from those monsters. Please enjoy your life, and you know what? Cut them cold turkey, because they are never going to change. Go extremely no contact, change your number, change your name, become a completely different person, because no, Just know there's no reconciling with them. There is no becoming a family with them after the horrible crap they've done. Again, OP, not the beehole. And our second one comes from Fabulous Show 7265. Am I the beehole for telling my wife's friends I make more money than her? I, a 25-year-old male, am married to my wife, Sasha, a 28-year-old female. She comes from a pretty wealthy background, while I decidedly don't. My dad left before I was born, and my mom died when I was 11. I've mostly gotten over it, as much as I can get over something like that. However, I'm still sensitive, so on any so-called jokes on that. I graduated summa cum laude and went straight into investment banking. I met my wife when I was 23 and fresh into it, but after 3 years, I earned pretty well. My wife is a lawyer. Now, I love my wife and she loves me, obviously, but her family hates me, like from the depths of their souls hates me. I've been called a gold digger, a lowlife, and a few more vague insults on my table manners. I went to a party with her the other day, one of those fancy schmancy things, where everyone drinks a champagne and complains about that and that the other, talking about how we spent so much money on reservations. I even get the usual mild comments from my wife's family and close friends on where my wife picked me up from. Lacey, I don't think knew about my family history before. We were talking about dads. Don't ask me why, and I got the question on what my dad did. I said I don't know. I never met the guy. Lacey made this kind of exaggerated gasp and went, "Oh, well, we all know why you're with her, my wife. Then don't we?" I acted all confused and she got flustered. Oh, that was a good move turning it back on her, making her look foolish. And just kept getting with, "Well, my wife tried to move the conversation along, but by this point I wasn't letting it go." I kept pushing and pushing until Lacey finally said, "Well, you two don't exactly have the same finances, do you?" And I responded with, "You're right. I make quite some more." Lacey by this point was too embarrassed to keep going. I kind of ruined the vibe, but the night continued. This isn't the kind of event you walk away from. We went home, which is when shite genuinely went down. She told me it was crazy of me to keep pushing on that point. Why is it crazy of you to keep pushing on that point when this family's been shiting all over you all the time? Where the hell is your wife? Why is she mad at you? Why doesn't she have your back? Your wife, your husband is supposed to have your back. She's a failure of a wife so far, OP, but let's get back to it. And turned one comment into one of the most embarrassing moments of her life. Who cares if it's an embarrassing moment of her life? This would never happen if she had a backbone, or she really cared about you, OP, and told her family to stop that nonsense, but she didn't. She let them keep crapping on you, and she let them keep thinking that she made so much more money. OP, your wife sucks. But back to it. And that now everyone in her circle must think she's some kind of failure. Who the cares about her circle? Who cares? She's married. Look, if you're married, you don't have to give a crap about anybody else. You're done. You found the person you're gonna be with. Who cares about everyone else? Much less than her husband. And I'd ruin everything. Oh my god. Wow, OP. You sure you want this kind of wife who doesn't have your back, who lets people crap all over you, and lets people think that you're, inferior? But it's not like I lied. I'm just tired of being treated like shite in her circle. My wife is upset, though, and I do care about her, so I need to know. Am I the beehole? No, OP. No, you're not the beehole. Your wife and her family are the beehole for doing this to you. Look, your wife is not the person I'd want to be married to, but you seem to love her. So I would sit her down and be like, you need to have my back. This wouldn't have happened if you were a good spouse and, stood up for me like you should with your family. But no, you happily stood there, let your crappy family all over me, trying to belittle me, and then get mad at me for standing up for myself, something that you should have done with your family. No, OP. No, you are not the beehole. OP, I'm gonna say your wife and and her family are the beehole. You shouldn't even have to tell her that she should have your back. Ugh, disgusting. And our final one comes from Advance77. Am I the beehole for refusing to sit my niece while my sister goes on vacation? My sister is going on vacation for a week soon, and isn't taking her 2-year-old daughter, Elsie, with her. My sister still lives at home with me and our parents, and normally they'd be the ones to look after Elsie when my sister is out, but they are working in the week that she'll be away, during, so they aren't an option for during the day. My mother came up to me recently and asked how I'd feel about looking after Elsie for the week during the day until they arrive home from work. I told her I wouldn't want to because I have no idea how to look after a toddler, and I don't want to be with her for that length of time. She said that was okay and didn't mention anything about it after. She must have told my sister because she pretty much stormed into my room and asked why I didn't want to look after Elsie. I told her the same thing I told my mother, and she started trying to make me feel bad or something by asking me why I wouldn't want to spend time with my niece if I love her and stuff like that. Oh, don't do that. I told her I don't care what she says because I wasn't doing it, and she said I was being selfish by not doing this after everything she's done for me, and that she's stuck for a babysitter now because of me. I just told her she should have thought of that before deciding to book a vacation, and she left. IOP. No, you're not the be-all. You didn't decide to have a kid. She has a kid. And she's not doing well if she's, having a kid and staying with her parents. She has bigger things to worry about than wasting money on a vacation. She has a kid to look after. She needs to, be an adult. Your parents are enabling her to, get away with doing dumb crap like wasting money on vacations when you have a child to raise. So I'm glad you told her no, and she was basically looking for a free babysitter with you. And that's disgusting. Her trying to shame you and make you feel bad for not watching your niece. Good job saying no. You're not the beehole. She is. She needs to get her shite together, man. Going on vacation when you have a kid, and like you said, if you're going on vacation and you have a kid, you need to get a babysitter ready. No one's obligated to watch your child. You know what I mean, OP? Not the beehole. Thank you for making it to the end of the video with me, and can you please do what I said in the beginning, and like, comment, and subscribe. It really and truly does help the channel out, it helps it grow, and it helps you get more videos like this. Velvet out.